Welcome to the press conference for the 2023 Small College Basketball Champions Classic right here at Northern State in Aberdeen, South Dakota. My name is John McCarthy. I serve as the founder of Small College Basketball. It's thrilled to have you here watching today, and with all 8 head coaches representing the teams that are going to compete in tomorrow and Saturday's Champions Classic. We have 4 of the finest NCAA Division II teams and 4 of the finest NCAA Division III teams here with us today. I want to start by thanking Ashley Gower and Nate Davis for their hospitality and all the work behind the scenes to make this operation work here at Northern State. We're so grateful to be at Northern State in Aberdeen. We're grateful to be at the famed Wax Arena to be playing these games the next 2 days. I'd like to thank each coach for believing in this vision and taking the time to be here. It's a long way for a lot of you to get here to Aberdeen, South Dakota, and you're going to be part of a national showcase for college basketball. It'll be broadcast live for free through the internet the next couple of days, and we're so grateful to every coach for taking that leap of faith to come out here to Aberdeen for a wonderful national showcase for college basketball. So I'm going to turn it over to each coach to make opening comments. We'll start with Coach Pat McKenzie from St. John's and work on down the road with opening comments. Go ahead and take it away, Coach McKenzie.
Yep, St. John's, we're excited to be here. It's a great event. Even already, Northern has just done a fantastic job. So looking forward to 2 tough games and obviously a great experience and really happy to be involved and invited. So thanks to all that made it happen.
Hi, how are you? Scott Binder, Stockton University. I agree. Glad to be here. My kids are thrilled. They're pumped up. Glad to be off campus. And I want to thank John for everything he does for small college basketball.
Thank you. Jeff Gard from Wisconsin Platteville. As echo the 2 prior coaches as well, that extremely excited to be here at Northern. Obviously an early season test for all of us as we get things rolling off as well, but thanks to John and the committee with small college basketball, putting it at the forefront, obviously really showcasing Division II and Division III athletics this weekend.
Thank you. Dave Hastings, Keene State College. Just a great opportunity. I appreciate everything that everybody's done to get this tournament started. The idea that the small college basketball can get together with such great teams and great coaches that I can surround myself with. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Yeah, John, I remember when Kansas City were sitting in a restaurant when you were getting small college basketball started, and I loved the event in Kansas City when we were in the NAI, just game after game after game, watching great teams play, and so excited to be here in Aberdeen and do the same, just watch a day full of great basketball games. I mean, first of all, I'm a fan, and I love watching good teams, and seeing a lot of these teams here play on film. I'm excited to see them live because there's just a lot of quality basketball. It'll be fun to watch.
Saul Phillips, Northern State. Tremendous honor to be hosting this. We enjoy showing off our wonderful facilities to other premier teams in Division II, Division III. I actually played Division III because there's no Division IV. And the idea that there's this much good basketball in a really good basketball town is just exciting for us. We appreciate having everybody here, and I'm really excited to have UW Platteville here. That's my alma mater. Played 4 years there, but if you go by minutes, I still have plenty of eligibility left.
Follow up that. Ben McCollum, Northwest Missouri State. As usual, we thank John McCarthy and everything he does for small college basketball to help promote this, and Northern State, specifically Nate Davis, the athletic director. Not Coach Phillips here, but no. I love coming to these events. We went to the one in Florida that used to be in St. Joe, Missouri, and it's always quality competition. I learn a lot from watching other teams and just how they act and how they coach, and I'm excited to see some of the games.
Thanks. Brooks McCowan, Upper Iowa. Just excited to be a part of this amazing event. Same as the other coach talked about. Thank John for having us down here. Didn't think I'd be coming back to Northern this soon, but excited to be here. Looking forward to watching everybody play.
So let's dive a little bit more and have each of you talk a little bit about your team this year, along with the 2 opponents that you'll be playing. But at the same time, I encourage you to to dive into maybe something we don't know about you or your team that you're willing to share. And I'll just give an example. Something we learned at the press conference here last year is we learned, and this is a first, but Greg Tonigal from Indiana Wesleyan was very proud that he got the first pheasant among any of the coaches at the Champions Classic, and we learned that at the press conference last year. And in my discussions with Bo Ryan, I learned a little bit about Saul Phillips, and he said he was just one accident away from being the starting point guard at Platteville. Now, he also used a caveat and said that accident would have had to knock off the entire rest of the team for him to get that opportunity. But if you don't mind, let's talk a little bit about your team, the opponents that you're going to play in the next couple of days, and feel free to share anything additional about your team or personally that maybe people don't know already. Let's reverse the order and start with Brooks, if you don't mind.
Of course. Yeah, I'm excited for our team this year. We've got a good group back. Point guard Jake Hilmer has had a good career for us. We've got him back for his 5th year. He's an outstanding player. We've got another all-conference kid in Nick Reed back, and a couple other pieces that were big for us last year in what we did. And then we were able to add a few pieces to them, and it's a good group. It's a good mix. So we're really excited for the year. We're excited for the group. For the people that don't know us, we're a small town Iowa team in northeast Iowa, town of about less than 1,000 people. We say 1,000, but that's pushing it a little bit. Don't have a high school in our town, which I think we're the only one in the United States that doesn't have a high school. It's got a college. So we recruit a ton of Iowa kids. They're proud of where they're at and who they play for. We try to instill that in them, and we try to get up and down and play a fun game of basketball. And as far as our opponents go, we know we're playing 2 amazing teams with some good coaches. I've had the experience of playing them over the years, being in the league with Saul and playing Ben over the years. So we're excited for the challenge. We know there are going to be some fun games, and we're looking forward to it.
Our team this season, we have everybody back except for an All-American, Diego Bernard, who was a little bit of our heart and soul, kind of our toughness, and did a lot of things for us, not only from a basketball perspective, but just from a toughness, intensity standpoint. And then Luke Waters, a very versatile 6'7" big that could shoot. Both of those 2 are gone. We bring back maybe 3-ish starters, kind of. Bennett Sturts, point guard, Isaiah Jackson, Byron Alexander, who have both played here, Daniel Abreu, and then we bring in a couple kids that had redshirted last year. And so hopefully we'll get ourselves healthy for this deal and hopefully perform at a high level. As far as our opponents, I've seen I've seen them in person. I haven't seen Emmanuel in person, obviously on film. They're fantastic, very, very well coached, play extremely hard, athletic, skilled, everything it takes to be a good team. And then Brooksy, this is also my fun fact. They do get up and down, and they do shoot a lot of threes. Our first national championship, first round, we went into overtime. We didn't foul. We were up 3. No. We were up 3.
We were up 3. We tied it.
Yeah, we were up 3, and we chose not to foul. Kid come down, and I bet it was well outside of the NBA 3 by about 10 feet. Banked in, maybe? Didn't bank in? It wasn't live?
You did shot fake it. The kid flew by and sidestepped.
Sidestepped and shot it. Somehow made it. Went into overtime. Ended up, fortunately, winning the basketball game, but about ruined that opportunity for us. So we're excited to play those 2 teams, obviously, and just to play in this.
Thanks for bringing that up. It was more like I'm sick about it to this day. We were undefeated, weren't we?
I thought we probably should have switched. I should talk about your team and you should have talked about mine.
I could have. I could tell you the entire roster.
Yeah, no,
I can tell you his too.
This is the 2nd week in a row we're spending together here. We actually played last week with Northwest, and they're just in. They're good again. What the heck are you doing over there? Anyway, got a really fun group, good group to work with. We're still trying to find our footing a little bit after graduating a All-American senior point guard in Sam Maston. But I like our pieces. I think we're going to come together just fine. But it is a growing process, trying to figure out maybe put some people in some different roles and things like that. But just a pleasure to coach the guys. We're a long team. We usually can shoot the ball. And yeah, no, I really like where we're at as a group. As far as our opponents, we've got two of the best scorers in the nation that we're staring down this weekend. Certainly KJ from Emmanuel is a dynamic. Watching tape on him just scared me all week, to be honest with you. So, and then Gilmore, we've seen his act before, and it's really good. So, again, well-coached teams. These are games that will get us ready to try to win our league, and that's important to us. Different styles in terms of how they play compared to most of the teams in our league, so that's healthy for us. We're just looking forward to growing, getting better, and yeah, it's going to be a great weekend of basketball.
Yeah, Emmanuel University, small school, about an hour north of Atlanta. They got about 800 students. So it's a small place, but a good place. A lot of really good people there, and we'd love to have our team get experiences like this. And this experience is going to be great because of our two opponents. It feels like the road to the championship runs through this area every year, where these two teams are battling out, or somebody in their conference, but they're always right there. And you watch those matchups at the end of the year. And so, yeah, it's just going to be a fun experience for us to be out here to be able to play and just to see it live, and it helps you gauge your team and what they need to do and how they need to grow. And we do have a special player in KJ Jones, special in a lot of ways. It really honestly surprised that he's back. He had a ton of opportunities to go a lot of different places and wouldn't fault it at all for doing that, but he really loves his teammates. And he wanted one more, run with him. He's a 4.0 GPA. I think pretty unique thing about him is, led the country in scoring, but he was also almost a 50-40-90 guy. He's a very willing passer, just a good teammate, a good leader, and around him just a bunch of good guys. I enjoy my team. They're fun to coach. They play hard. Probably a thin margin, not a ton of depth, not a ton of size, but they play hard and they play together. And I think this weekend will give us a good gauge of what we got to do to get better, and seeing some really top opponents around the country, and good. Just excited to be here and to see it all live. It'll be a lot of fun.
Keene State. So we're up in New Hampshire. It's a beautiful, typical college town in New England. I think it's a fabulous place to go for young people as far as their education goes, as well as our athletics in the school are very good. For our team, we graduated a few guys last year and brought a few guys back as well. Couple All-Americans. One guy is a first-team All-American, Jeff Hunter. Just went over our first game of the year. He won a career 1,000 rebounds. The other young man, Octavio Brito, went over 1,000 points. He's pretty good too. And we're playing a couple teams that we traveled halfway across the country to play. One of them, Stockton, looking forward to that. Although he's 4 hours from us back home, we did a nice little cross-country tour to get to them in Platteville. I've seen them on video here a number of times. Certainly looking forward to playing them. A wonderfully coached team and super talented team. It's going to be a great experience. Stockton, they play considerably much more like us than Platteville, so we're playing what I consider two very different teams that should provide quite a challenge for us.
And Jeff Gard with Wisconsin Platteville. Saul stole the thunder, obviously, at Saul Phillips' alma mater. We're still waiting for alumni donations to come in to build that statue up.
Yeah, did you bring a statue with you?
Yeah, we're working on it. We're working on it. That pottery class ran out of clay because we don't have enough money to build it. So, but no, when Saul got the job out here, it talked a lot about this Aberdeen, a lot like Platteville, Maine, and it's a community that surrounds it's not only its high school and its public schools, but it also surrounds the university that's tied into it too, and that's what Platteville is. I mean, it's a family atmosphere, it's a family town that is crazy about the orange and blue. So obviously we're excited. We know there's a lot of people back home watching. There'll be quite a few out here as well. So we're excited, obviously, about the opportunity to get back out here as well. Obviously, the team, you are very, very modest. For a guy that's a first-year head coach, and I got two nice players. Nice? Seeing these guys on film, I think these guys would attest to it, too. I'd love to have my first year having two All-Americans. Those guys are pretty good. We're excited. As I said, you know, Pat and I have played in the past. Almost saw each other a couple of years ago in the NCAA tournament. But I know what I'm going to see and what we're going to get out of Pat, a dogfight, like a WIC game for us. And then obviously seeing Keene and Dave's team as well. Seeing him early a little bit on film. Extremely athletic. Reminds me of a couple teams in our league that play with some tempo and some athleticism as well. So it's going to be another great opportunity for us. For the Pioneers, you know, we got a group that got pretty much everybody back from last year's squad that had to learn a lot last year with so many seniors graduating the year prior. So we're excited, obviously, with that growth. I think it's the trips like these that help your team figure things out, not only on the floor, but off the floor as well. And that's what we're excited about.
All right, Stockton University is one of the New Jersey state schools. We are located just outside Atlantic City, New Jersey. We do have a campus in Atlantic City on the boardwalk. So all you young players out there, if you want to go to the beach, play basketball and surf, then we are the school for you. We do not currently have any surfers on the team, but if there's any good ones out there, we'd be glad to take you. We have had a few good years. We lost two really, really good guards from last season. We have a kid that was the all-time assist leader for the school, and then we have a kid that was, he was Defensive Player of the Year 3 years in a row, along with being first team All-League. So we're trying to replace them. We do return a kid named DJ Campbell, who has, you know, been an All-American at times throughout his career. He's got 1,700 career points going into this season, so he's had a really nice run. The best part about DJ is I think he loves basketball more than his coach, which is hard to do. And you know, I think we would all agree that if you have kids that love the game as much as you do, you know, what a privilege. And you know, it is to coach a kid like that. So I'm just going to try to enjoy just having a kid like that for his last year. We do have some new pieces. We have some D2 transfers and guys that actually started where they were, and for some reason or another, we ended up with them. So we're excited about them, but we are trying to mold a different system in that, you know, we've been a 4-out team for the last several years, and we're kind of being a little more conventional. And you know, I think we'll eventually be a really good team. We're hoping we're going to start that tomorrow. We know Keene State will be a heck of a test. We have a history with them. We played them in the NCAA tournament, I think, in 2016. And we were talking about that this morning. We had a great player back then. And we had the ball with the game tied at the end of the game, and you know, we take a shot, we miss it, and our kid has like a brain cramp, and he fouls the rebounder, thinking we're down a point, and we send them to the line, and their kid buries 1 or 2, and that was the end of that. So we're looking for revenge, Dave. We are looking for revenge. But so it'll be great to face them, and as somebody else said, like, 2 contrasting styles, right? Then you have a really big physical team from Minnesota, and I always think they're the kinds of teams you have to beat to win a national championship at our level. So it's going to be a great experience. Hopefully it'll get us ready for our league schedule, and you know, we're thrilled to be here, and hope we play well the next 2 days.
Yeah, Pat McKenzie, St. John's University. We're in Collegeville, Minnesota. Those recruits you were mentioning, if you like the beach but not surfing, we got 7 lakes on campus, tucked in the middle of the woods in northern Minnesota, and we're excited to be here. I think we've got a nice group coming back. 7 of our top 9 return. We're having to play a little different this year, but it's exciting. It's kind of a fun challenge, and you know, we've gotten healthy, and this will be a really good test for our group. I know, talking to John, as far as our opponents, this sounded like a good idea back when we committed, and then you start watching film and you realize what you're getting yourself into. And it's 2 really good teams, as they mentioned, contrasting styles, but I think that's why you come to these events, is to prepare your team for conference play and hopefully a run. And you're going to see 2 different styles, and there's no question we're going to get exposed Friday and Saturday, but you know, can we withstand it, and what are we going to learn from it? Is what's exciting about the opportunity.
I'll ask one for Scott, Dave, and TJ. So you guys kind of mentioned you're coming from further away. Maybe just talk about
the experience of the trip so far. Your guys are coming. Aberdeen doesn't probably look like where you guys call home. I mean, so it's kind of isolated. I don't know if you flew into Aberdeen or if you flew into Sioux Falls or somewhere else in the drive here. Just maybe talk about the experience of getting here, your guys' reaction, and this is probably an area where they haven't spent a lot of time. They're probably not coming here on spring break. So what's that been like at this point?
You want to start this way? It's interesting. I have several guys that have never been on a plane. So just taking a look at them as we're like taking off and like the fear in their face. And I said, listen, it's safer than driving, especially in New Jersey. And then we're landing, and then all they see is farms, and we're like, where are we going, Coach? So like we're from the most densely populated state, and we're going to, I guess, one of the more rural places. And I mean, that alone is great. It wasn't so great when you see the deer on the highway, and I didn't take the insurance with the rental car, so that wasn't such a good idea. But these guys are looking at these deer, and they're like, is that a buffalo? I said, no, that's a deer. So we're my kids are like, some of them have never been out of New Jersey, which is crazy, but so it's just overall, something they'll remember forever. To me, Aberdeen, I just walked 1.5 miles around the campus and around the community, and it looks like a wonderful place to live. If you can somehow increase the temperature, then I'd be interested in moving here.
This is warm.
This is a heat wave.
Well, I would say all of our guys have traveled in different areas, but honestly, when we were coming across in the plane, looking out the windows, I've never seen so much open space in my life. All the farmland was incredible. We were trying to figure out what the biggest crop would be here then, and there was a great discussion on the plane amongst the players. More interestingly for all of them was the getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to get on a bus, to then get on a plane, to land in one place with a layover, get back on a plane, land in another place, then get here after a 3-hour drive. So the travel itself, I think, is great for them anyways. They get to experience something that maybe they have not done in that fashion before. All of them have been on a plane before, but the idea of traveling across the country with time zones and getting in the cars and traveling, I think it was great for them. It was good conversation in the ride down. Plenty of deer. I counted 8 deer on the side of the road myself, and one rollover truck that went about 75 yards into a field. And as a retired chief of police, I kind of talked to them about how fast that vehicle was traveling to get that far into the field. So there was some impactful discussion had that I think they'll remember for a while.
It's the rut right now with deer season, so they're active and moving.
Yeah, you should have told me that when I had the car insurance. I didn't take it either.
For us, we went to Hawaii last year, so I wanted to show them the contrast, the difference between the two different weathers. But basketball has just been great to me, and I've seen so much of the world, and it's for my players. We do have to raise a lot of money. We don't have budgets for this, but I always want them to have experiences, and I want them to see different things. I think sometimes when you see the world and you see different places, it opens your mind to bigger things and bigger thoughts. And we have a lot of kids that haven't been on a plane, haven't been around, haven't seen things, and when you go see different parts of the world and you go see different people and you meet different people, I just think it kind of opens your mind and your heart to different things, and that's important to me as we're trying to mold young men that go on to do great things. And I think part of that is experiences, and so it's important for us to do this every year, no matter how much we got to work to raise it. I want them to, and they do, 5-10 years later, I still get back to their weddings and they're talking about, remember when we went here, we'll make memories in Aberdeen and we'll make them, wherever we go. So I think it's an important part of each young person's journey to see something different and to have those experiences. So we're intentional about it, and this one's been awesome so far. Definitely something different than they've seen before, and they've just really enjoyed it. So thankful to be here.
So just a quick follow-up on the heat wave comment. This is my 3rd time here. 2 years ago came for the I Hate Winter game, which is fantastic. I have a story about that for a later time. And then last year for this event, yesterday literally topped 60 degrees and it was blue skies. This is really cool to me. I found out they have grass here and there's roads here. I didn't get to see them my first 2 times because they were covered with ice and snow. And literally, it did not touch 30 degrees the entire trip here last year. So this is a heat wave now. It's wonderful. So it's been neat to be able to see the grass and the roads and reasonably warm weather. This has been great so far. This is great. What else do we have?
Any of you, not everybody has to answer this, but a couple you can jump in here. Just talk about the significance of planning an event like this and what it means. A couple you touched on this, but like what it means for your program, not just this year of getting to play good teams early in the season and kind of a measuring stick of where you're at, but also what it means for your program just going forward and to play in a national event from a recruiting standpoint, from an exposure standpoint. Just what is the significance for the program? Anybody who wants to jump in?
Well, I'll just say, I'm really looking forward to seeing all of these teams because it helps you understand where you need to get. It's a lot of it's regional, and you don't get to see people all over the country, and there's so many different contrasting styles of basketball and ways they play. And so I think it'll probably just expand my mind too. This is the way this team plays, and this is how they play, and this is what they do really well. And I think we all steal, from a lot of different people, but it's different sometimes watching on film or video than actually seeing it live. And so I think that hopefully it not only opens our minds, but the players too. And they see, hey, this is what a great team looks like. These are the little things that they do. So I'm excited for our program to see that, and hopefully it'll expand their vision for where they need to get and who they need to be as players and who we need to be as a team.
A lot of people are calling this the Maui Invitational Division II with the weather we're having this year. So there are only so many marquee events in non-D1 basketball, and this is clearly one of them. So for us to be able to host it, but to be able to play in some of his other events over the years, yeah, it's a big deal, and not everybody gets to do it. And it's a pretty exclusive club that gets the chance to be part of something like this. So it's big for our kids. They look forward to it, and we'll be probably no surfboard trophies this year, but we'll work on that for the future.
Just as a quick note, it's your press conference, not mine, but I think you misspoke a little bit when you mentioned the Maui Invitational. I think you got mixed up between that and the Great Alaskan Shootout.
Oh, no.
Anybody else want to take that one that Nate threw up? The experience of this coming to a national event like this for your program, recruiting, etc.
I think it's another opportunity to put small college basketball on the forefront and really kind of get it known out there. I think too many people get wrapped up in the Roman numeral, and I think all 8 of us up here could attest that good basketball knows no number. It's just kids that play, they play with passion, and there's a reason that they're out there. Some of them obviously are paying their own way, some are getting paid, but I think now in today's society, obviously it's great for us to be able to have a weekend and put the small college basketball D1 or D3 and D2 on the forefront as well, and get it out there at the national level, and looking forward to it.
So I just want to throw one out there for anybody that wants to take this, and I'm clearly a little bit biased towards the small college levels, so Division II, III, NAI, etc. And for years I've been telling people that the very top echelon of Division II and Division III, Division I teams, they don't want to play the top echelon of Division II and Division III. Can somebody talk a little bit about that fine line between the top of Division II, III, and the NAI relative to the bottom portion of Division I? I've articulated quite a bit, but I'd love to hear it coming from some of the coaches here.
I've been the coach on the other end of the line in Division I saying, no, we're not playing it, no chance. We knew when we were at Division I, you better pick wisely if you're going to play a non-D1, because the top ones are going to be every bit as good as, Ben's gone into Duke and done a pretty good job. So, yeah, I would say that I'm uniquely positioned to say absolutely 100% the line is really thin, and a lot of times on any given night, there's not a line at all. The difference would be if we had to play their league over and over, night after night after night. That might grind on us after a while, but on any given night, I'd take my team into any D1s out there that want to play us. We'll play. We can end this argument right now. But it's ironic that I go from the person saying no to people to now I'm begging give us a chance. We'll show you. And I'm made to no avail at this point, so that might tell you something.
Anybody else want to speak to that in regards to that fine line between the top echelons of Division 2 and 3 and NAIA?
I mean, for us, I just think it just seems to win our league, we need to recruit guys that are getting recruited or are borderline Division 1 recruits. Even like the Division 2 conference in our area is I'm not sure some of us in our league think it's even as good as our league. But certainly you need kids that are being recruited or getting strong interest from Division 1 schools to maybe slip through the cracks. So I mean, you're really, really close. And there's D1s that post games, and I call or email, and I won't get a call back. So I guess they select who they want to play. You just can't lose to a Division 3 for a Division 1 coach, and you don't have a lot of tenure, I suppose. And I want to go back to the other question for a second. The best part about being here for me is, I'm a big podcast listener, and I learn a lot more from coaches at our level than I do for the coaches that you see on TV every night. And I don't know why, but the small college coaches really seem to draw me in, and I seem to get a lot more notes and feedback. So that's to go back to the last question, that's just an awesome reason to be here for me and sit in stands and take notes and so I appreciate you all letting me watch your games.
Well, thank you for being here for the. You got one more? Go ahead, Nate.
Oh, I can keep going.
Well, we're going to fire one more away, and then we'll wrap it up. Go ahead. That's great.
Well, I'll just fire a softball up here, and Ben, I'll ask you because we go way back. So, if you were going to pick a noon ball team here, who would be your number one pick? Don't say yourself.
That's a great question. It certainly wouldn't be Saul, but I would definitely pick myself. That's and you said don't pick yourself. I would. I think Nate's referring to. Nate was actually an administrator at Northwest Missouri State for a short amount of time, and we used to play noon ball every single day. And a lot of times we'd be against each other, and a lot of times in the locker room afterwards we didn't like each other for about 30 minutes or so, and then we'd get over it pretty quickly. I think that's what you're referring to.
I never not liked you.
I did. There was times if I ever lost, it was kick the ball across the gym and lose my temper. Thanks for the question.
Yeah.
Could Nate play?
Nate actually can play. Nate's a pretty good player. Pick and pop forward for us. He's an undersized 4 though. Not overly mobile, so we try to ISO him quite a bit. But good basketball IQ, excellent shooter. Injury prone. He sat out a while with Achilles injury. Got to work on his toughness, but we'll get him there.
Are you glad you asked that?
I know you're dying to say something.
Conditioning is a factor, and I will say this, that we have a former women's basketball coach here who refs City League, and Nate plays City League along with a couple of my one former assistant and one current assistant, and for some reason Coach Fred came in the next day, all he could talk about was how good our new AD is at basketball. I'm like, those are 2 kids I recruited that he's playing with, and all he wants to talk about is, so I don't know what Nate's doing over there. I think it's the little Nowitzki-ish fade that he's got going. He does have a stroke, there's no doubt about that. He can shoot.
I think we've heard enough.
This has been educational. This is really good. We learned a little bit about your teams. I learned a lot more about Nate. This is good. So, and thank you for being here for the press conference for the 2023 Small College Basketball Champions Classic. For those that are watching, we hope you tune in to all the games here at Wax Arena. Just a wonderful, historical 8,000-seat arena. Please tune in and watch. You're going to see some wonderful basketball, incredibly well-coached, talented teams. Please check it out the next 2 days, this Friday and Saturday. Basketball Junkies Dream. 4 games a day for 2 days, 8 games all on one court with tremendous